Hey guys, M.V.K here. How's everybody doing out there? Welcome back to the Speed Force. I'm here to do my recap slash review on the next episode of The Flash. Um, 3 more episodes to go for the first season. Yes, you heard me say it. The first season is over. It feels like we're on the second season. Um, but this episode really gave us more insight of a lot of things in terms of that cliffhanger ending that we saw from the last week's episode. Um, so let me talk about this episode. Okay, so first, episode picks up right where last week's episode left off. Uh, Barry, Cisco, Catherine are in the secret room, and they're looking at the newsreel paper from the future. Um, Cisco, he's basically remarks on the brighter red and the classic Flash look with the white embryo and the Thunderbolt. He goes on about that, uh, and then the other thing that catches their eye is Catherine says, "Look at the byline," and whose byline do we see? It says Iris West Allen. So basically, any Flash fan knows that they're destined to get married sometime. But the biggest thing, of course, is the fact that Gideon, the artificial intelligence that Dr. Wells has been talking to, or Thawne has been talking to, finally interacts with them. And this is where Barry gets an interesting glimpse of what his future holds for him. Uh, it's kind of interesting because it's always been said in time travel, uh, you don't want to know too much about your future. But we know Barry gets promoted at the police department. He gets become, I think, the head of the CSI team. He marries uh, Iris. Uh, he even, and then there's even a quick reference of a certain team he founds. Gideon says it really quick, but you got to catch it. But she says, "You're the Flash, founder of the," and then Barry cuts her off. So literally, I think right there was basically saying, Barry, we all know Flash is a founding member of the Justice League. So it was kind of cool, but you got to catch it. And then, of course, the biggest thing, of course, is knowing that Barry creates Gideon. He actually creates her. And pretty much the rest of the the episode is more of a chess game of trying to trap Dr. Wells or Thawne in confessing his crimes, which was really good. We got a more glimpse of what was going on when Barry was in flashbacks, or when Barry was in the hospital, and when Wells took him into Star Labs. We also There's another side story where Eddie wants to propose to Iris, but Joe doesn't give him his blessing, and we're kind of wondering why. But I think we all kind of figured out why, in a sense. And Joe does explain later on. But the true matter is finding out what Cisco knows, because Barry kind of starts to tell everybody that he has time travel. Not He's time traveled already, instead of where he's going to in the future. And pretty much it is there where he tells them that maybe everything that Cisco is experiencing in terms of the residual effects, I guess, of him being killed by Thawne or Dr. Wells, it's all adding up. So they use a device that will go, and Cisco can revisit those dreams, and he gets to see everything, but it feels so real to him. And just when vibrating hand, and as Cisco said, Kalima. I love Cisco's references. I love that he uses all these geek references. He's talking about Temple of Doom, Kalima, Indiana Jones. That was great. And he wakes up. They get him out of the machine before anything happens, but they know they have to get Dr. Wells to confess. and that's where the chess game starts to really pick up. But even then, we get to see Barry finally do another one of his talents that we know he will learn to do, is make his, use a vacuum, use a vacuum by waving his hands, his arms, spinning his hand, moving his arms really fast. We've seen it doing many times in the animated, but we never see, it was kind of cool to see it be done on the big small screen. And once again, Barry is conflicted on how can this man be the one is responsible for my mother's death, but on the other side of it, on a coin, he's like a mentor, and he helps me when I need it, and it's really hard for him sometimes, and that's something that I think you can understand about Wells in a sense. However, still, that doesn't stop Barry from trying to get what he needs. And then there's another story where Iris is, all her investigative reporting is starting to realize that Star Labs is the key to all these individuals who are these metahumans who are getting these powers. But Barry kind of tries to throws her off the trail by saying, I was a part of that too. The machine hit me, but I don't have powers. Uh, that was really interesting as well. But the trap is set. Looks like everything is going according to plans. And Cisco made some modifications to the trap, and it's supposed to be no speedster can get inside. So he starts to get the confession. It looks like everything is going according to plan. Everything's going, and then all of a sudden, instead of Dr. Wells not like bouncing off, he actually goes right through. And it's like, yo, what the hell? It's like, whoa. And unfortunately, that's when Joe and Barry have to go into action. Joe fires a couple of shots at Wells. Barry is able to stop, I think, at least 3 bullets, but he hits the wall, bounces back, and 1 bullet hits Wells, and it looks like it's over. He didn't get the confession, but unfortunately, what a twist! The Wells, or Thawne as we think, it's not him. It's actually Hannibal, the Everyman, in as Dr. Wells, and it was almost like checkmate on Thawne, Dr. Wells. He's always 2 steps ahead, and he confesses everything. Um, and he starts to say, like, if it wasn't for me, your lives would have been totally different. Like he's literally saying, like, look, I'm the one that made you guys better, and it gets very interesting from there, especially when Barry finds out. Once again, another like checkmate. He's been keeping tabs on them, I guess you could say, from day one. There are cameras everywhere, all over. And it's then realized that Barry needs to get to Iris. And her and Eddie are somewhere, and this is where Eddie, I guess, is going to propose. However, Reverse Flash comes and takes Eddie. Flash gets there just in time to stop Reverse Flash from killing, I guess, from killing Iris. And that is where he tells Eddie, Flash tells Iris, I'll get him back, don't worry. Now, this is where I'm a little bit like, I was a little bit like, really, kind of like, huh, like somewhere, somehow, Iris touches Flash, and I guess some kind of residual effect of lightning shocks her, like static electricity shocks her, and she remembers that Barry is the Flash. And I'm like, oh, okay. That was like weird, but okay. And this is where, and then from there, it's almost a sense of uh, Eddie realizing who Reverse Flash is, a distant relative of him, and it goes off pretty much with another flashback. But This episode was really good, guys. I very much enjoyed this. This was more of a, it felt more like a real crime drama. You know what I'm saying? Just a little bit of superheroism dashed into it. But this really felt like an episode really of 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 CSI or something like that. It really did, you know. But I kind of felt like, yeah, maybe he's Wells does know what's going on. He's been keeping tabs on them. I think he was. I always felt that he was always like 2 steps ahead of the gang, you know. But the next episode, ooh yeah, a certain gorilla takes center stage, and I'm looking forward to that. But only 3 more episodes left till the season is over. You guys tell me what you thought about this episode. This is Mount Vernon Kid saying peace and love. Stay tuned. Keep it real, guys. I'll catch you guys next time when we enter the Speed Force a couple more times. But other than that, y'all take care.